Hi everyone! Today I wanted to go through the 5 must-haves and a few extras that you should have on your Ninja 1000. Granted, these must-haves really apply to every bike out there, but they are things that I feel every bike should have, and you should go ahead and upgrade them yourselves if they seem like something you would want. So, let's get started. The first one on the list is a radiator guard. Radiator guards help protect your bike from various debris, rocks, sticks, things like that, from going through your radiator and causing massive issues, some expensive issues at that. A radiator guard will stop these items from penetrating your radiator and causing it to leak and your bike to overheat. Now, of course, with antifreeze, it is very slippery and can also cause an accident. So protect your radiator, get a radiator guard. Now, for those of you who ride in very hot climates, if your bike's already overheating, you may have to avoid putting one on, as it does deflect a little airflow, but I have never had any overheating issues. But there is nothing like riding along at Mach Jesus and picking up a tiny little pedal that goes straight through your radiator and causes you to have to pull over and ruin your ride. It's a real kick in the butt. So get yourself a radiator guard and protect yourself. Number 2 on the list is a tail tidy. These are referred to as different things. Tail tidy, fender eliminator, tail eliminator. Either way, it's all the same thing. It eliminates that atrocious rear piece of plastic that hangs down, that holds your license plate, and tidies it up. It makes it much smaller, and you can still put your license plate on it. Some come with license plate lights. Some you have to actually take your light and carry it over. Various ones can mount your existing signals, or you can get an integrated tail light. In either case, tail tidies make the bike look a lot cleaner and a lot nicer. These might not be for everyone though. If you do a lot of rain riding, it eliminates the blocking factor from the rain flying all over your back. So your back can get really dirty without one. That is, unless you have a top case. Number 3 on the list are frame sliders. And these are a little misleading. They really don't protect your bike from a crash or a major slide, as they can dig in and cause your bike to flip. The main goal of the frame sliders or frame protectors are to protect your bike if you drop it or have a very low speed drop. If that happens, these protect your fairings to an extent, but primarily they protect your engine. A very expensive piece to replace if you drop your bike because you're too busy trying to kill switch your friend. Frame sliders do come in different types. I do recommend the 2-bolt style that mounts to your frame and not just your engine mount, as your engine mount is susceptible to breaking more and can cause damage to the engine. So get yourself a good quality set and protect your bike. Up next, number 4 on the list is a battery tender. Battery tenders help maintain your battery. They tend to its needs. They keep it fully charged without overcharging it. Now, some people put battery tenders on their bikes when they store them for the winter. That's the only time they ever put them on. But the truth is, if you put a battery tender on, anytime it's parked, say when you're at home, I mean, I don't expect you to carry one with you everywhere, but if you plug it in at whenever you're parked at home, it keeps your battery maintained and it increases its life. I have had batteries last 10 years from battery tender. So get yourself a battery tender. They're real easy to hook up. Get a good quality one. I do have links in the description for the one I use for pretty much everything. Number 5 on the list is an accessory outlet. Of course, the Ninja 1000 has a spot right up front for an accessory outlet and a connection right under the left upper fairing to plug into. Now, the problem is the Kawasaki OEM one is very expensive, over $100 US, which is really ridiculous. But there are other options out there. You can get yourself one with 2 USB ports, and it doesn't actually have a 12-volt DC socket, but you can just go ahead and go right into the wiring harness and hook it up. Or you can go ahead and get yourself a DC accessory port and hook it up yourself and get a USB adapter to plug in. This allows you to maintain things such as your cameras, your phone, whatever else you need on the go. Now, if you don't want to use the actual DC accessory port up front, you can just wire it into the battery and run it anywhere you want. Although I do recommend a kill switch, as a lot of DC accessory ports tend to drain the battery over time. So pick yourself up something. There's nothing like having a dead cell phone on the road. Now, some of the extras I wanted to cover, which aren't really must-haves, but are things I do recommend. Number 6 on the list is a phone mount. Phone mounts on the Ninja 1000 are tricky. The quad lock stem mount is very tricky to get installed on the Ninja 1000. I do have a video, but let me tell you, there are issues involved. This goes with the RAM mount as well. Although the stem mount actually does fight really well, the problem with the RAM mounts is they can actually drop your phone, and you have pretty much have to always use the secondary holder, the elastic strap. However, some sort of phone mount would be great. That way it lets you use GPS, and then when you're at a stop or in a parking lot, you can get your music going. Number 7 on the list is a camera. I highly recommend having a dedicated camera with front and rear cameras on your motorcycle for any accidents that may happen, or any issues, incidents, anything. This involves everything from someone rear-ending you to officer who isn't telling the truth. It happens. I support the blue, but you just never know. So a front and rear camera is always good to have. Not to mention, if you get something like the N-Off K5, it is 4K up front, HD in the rear, and if your bike moves, even while it's parked and turned off, it'll start recording. It is hooked up to the battery at all times. It doesn't really drain it, works great, and it's dedicated, so you don't have to worry about having a fully charged GoPro battery. And it'll go with your bike if there is an accident, where a GoPro can go pretty much anywhere. Number 8 on the list is LED light. LED lights aren't for everybody. Heck, they weren't even popular until Fast and the Furious came out. But LED lights give yourself more visibility at nighttime to cars on the road. So they can be beneficial as a safety factor. However, you do have to check your state laws to make sure that they are legal to have on. For example, Pennsylvania, every color is legal, they just cannot be flashing and strobing. Maryland, you cannot have blue, or red for that matter, unless it's for taillight, which if you get something like the XK Glow set, you can activate, they can turn red when you hit the brake light. So if your state allows lights, make sure you get the colors that are allowed in that state. Make sure that if it says you're not allowed to have them flashing, pulsing, strobing, whatever, make sure you follow the rules. But otherwise, if you're allowed to have them on for more visibility at night. Number 9 on the list is tank pads. Now, I rode around a long time without tank pads and just fine, but let me tell you what, once you put them on, there's nothing better than being able to actually have grip on the tank. This helps you keep control of your bike. If you are a rider who isn't squeezing the tank, then you probably should learn the better riding techniques, as riding a motorcycle is a lot of your core strength. You squeeze the tank and you control the bike while holding onto the tank. This not only holds you onto the bike, but it helps you have better control over the bike and better feel of it. Again, they aren't entirely necessary, but they are definitely nice to have. And the final one on the list, number 10, heated grips. Heated grips are a very nice thing to have if you are in the cooler climate like I am. When it cools down, your fingers get cold. Even if you have warm gloves, they still get cold. Heated grips help keep your fingers warm and help them keep moving, something that is very essential when you're riding a motorcycle. It's kind of a bad thing if you can't move your fingers to hit the brake and you need to stop. So heated grips are nice to have. However, if you're in warmer climate year round, probably not worth putting on. But for those of us that are in like Pennsylvania, the Northeast, or anywhere it gets cold, Midwest, heated grips can be very useful. Now, what kind you put on? That's up to you. A lot of people believe that the aftermarkets work a lot better than the OEM. However, I have also heard that aftermarkets can actually burn your hands. So figure out what you want, do your research, and make your bike your own and very comfortable. So until next time, guys, stay safe, keep 2 on the ground. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I will try and answer everyone's questions as soon as possible. If there's anything you would like to see, any tips, tricks, techniques, anything at all motorcycle related, please let me know. I do these videos for you, so anything that you would like to see, I am more than happy to do it. If you like this video, please click that thumbs up button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and click the bell to notify you whenever a new video drops. Thank you again. Ride safe and keep the rubber side down.